And so thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining in, this is the interview session of the morning drive, and we'll be looking at an issue that has been trending. It is the age limit on getting into getting admission into universities. To discuss this issue, I have with me Dr. Egariva once again. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. This is a topical issue. It's been trending, as you said, but it's quite disturbing. Coming from the Honorable Minister for Education, I mean, it's quite disturbing because you're going to stifle potential. There are children who are gifted. I mean, you cannot rule out that. You say by 18 years to get into the university.
Yeah.
What does that mean? For me, it means that we are going to make some people feel disadvantaged, obviously. Because there are children, even physically, they grow well. I mean, they're well fed, they grow pretty well. And that means that their mental strength is quite an advantage for them. So if we delay them, what does it tell us? It tells us that we're stifling their potential. Because if you say they can't get to university until they are 18, what of children who enter probably at the age of 6 in the primary school? 6 years in the primary school, 5 years, add all this together. By 17, they are in the university. And 4-year term without ASU strike and all that, by 21 they are off. And by the way, this is a computer age we are in. There are many children who are computer savvy, right? And now we have artificial intelligence. We must grow with the age we are in. Otherwise, it's a kind of tyranny. I mean, my son, the baby of the house, graduated at the age of 20. You know, it's quite matured mentally and physically. So if I had stopped him at that point, he would have wasted his time. Now he's a full-grown man and is doing things that adults are doing, all right? So, but let's face it. If we say 18 and with a young man or a young man gets into university at the age of 18, are we now saying that we're going to have a graduate produced, assuming it's 5 years, at the age of 23? Whereas outside the country, 21, 20, they're already graduating. Yes, and we are moving in a very fast world, very, very fast world indeed. I'm not saying that parents should rush their children into the primary school. No, that's not what I'm saying. But there are children who are very bright. I mean, for instance, in Edo College in those days, I finished secondary school at the age of 18.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Sorry, at the age of 17, I finished the secondary school. And some of my classmates, some finished at about 18, 19, but majority of us about 17 and all of that. And add that to another 4 years, 5 years university, 21, 22, you have graduated, right? That time, let alone now.
Okay.
When children, they are bright, they are brilliant. The only thing I want to add to that is that the universities must step up their action to give the students a very warm environment, okay, for studies. Once you do that, age does not matter anymore. Age does not matter at all, as long as you keep them away from mischief. And that's the duty of the universities. Keep the children away from mischief and let them know they have come to university to study, not to join cult groups, and things like that.
That's where my next question was coming from, because there's a school of thought that believe that it is at least 18 under Nigerian constitution. That is when you are seen to be an adult. And so by the time one hasn't gotten to the age of 18 and you get into university, that is the blame for such immature actions of some of the graduates, or rather undergraduates, that we have today. Are you of this school of thought?
No, I'm not, because, I mean, it has to do with parenting, for example. Good parenting. Children who go to the universities and they join cults and all sorts of things, go to their background. Most of their parents, 70 or 80%, are cult members, which is true. And children are very impressionable. They want to follow the path chosen by their parents. Watch it very carefully. You can do a research on it. Children who are caught in this web of cultism and all that, go to their parents, particularly their fathers. They belong to one secret society or the other, which is true. Now, so when they carry that kind of orientation into the university, it remains the same. And then we over-pamper these children to the point where anything goes when they get to university. There's relative freedom, by the way, when they get to the university. All right, they now stay on their own. But parenting continues on to the graduation point.
Okay.
Yes. Parenting, we are going to invite experts here to really talk about parenting. What are the duties of parents towards their children. They should train these children up to the graduation point. And universities must not, I mean, you get into the university, the environment is not right. You can imagine children cramped up in a room that ordinarily should take about 4 children. You have about 20 children there. What kind of children are you breeding from such environment? So we must be, it's a combination of efforts by parents and the university institutions. Particularly parents. Don't forget, when students are graduating, they graduate on 2 premises. Haven't satisfied the university by way of learning, and what else? They usually mouth it. Not just learning, morals, okay? Haven't been found worthy in these 2 areas. Then you graduate. What we find these days is that the universities, they keep blind eyes on the aspect of morals. They concentrate on learning, which is wrong. It is very, very wrong. So when you have students who are coming at about the age of 17, for instance, just a year to being adaptable, what is wrong with that? They graduate for 5 years, for some programs for 5 years. At the age of 22, they have graduated. They are now matured. So the maturity process is a gradual process. You don't wait until some of them are, and look at it now, some of them at 18, they sit for JAMB for more than 3 years. So you are now saying that you ask one will stifle them, first of all, and they get to university at the age of 21. For another 4 years, assuming that ASU doesn't go on strike. So by 26.
Okay, well, on the final note, do you think that age is a determinant of how well somebody can do in university academically?
It's not.
Okay.
You know that. It's not at all. Because as I said at the beginning of this discussion, some children are gifted, exceptionally gifted. And you'll find them in some of the universities. They are gifted. Look, our children are making waves in England, all over Europe and the United States. At I won't say tender age, because when you graduate at 21, that's no longer tender. But they are making waves. We see them on the pages of newspapers. How can we hold them back? Particularly in this age of computers. We can't hold them back. No. A boy who graduates at the age of 21, 22 should be encouraged to contribute to national development. Look at China. They bring up their children right from the kindergarten in readiness for national development. Yes, China, Singapore, that's what they do. All these Asian countries, they do that. America is even envious of them now. Yes, from the kindergarten, they develop their potential, because it's at the primary school level you really develop their potential. Those who will be engineers, you should know. From the primary school. Those who will be medical doctors, they show these potentials. By way of doing things on their own. A boy who will be interested in aviation will show the potential right from the primary school. And that's why I think that we must have career guidance and counseling right from the primary school. We must tailor them. We must tailor their intuition towards what they want to be. I ask my grandchildren now, and they tell me clearly, oh, you want to be this, you want to be this. And I know their potential. For one of my grandchildren, a boy, he has the knack for engineering. Oh, yes. He's only 11. He has a knack for engineering. He will do things that will amaze you. He will put a telephone apart, reassemble it. Yes, you already know his potential. One of them says, oh, Grandpa, I want to be a professor. All right? So you must attune their minds to what they have already told you. Look, in the secondary school, in Edo College in those days, most of my classmates who are retired as pilots, we knew that they were going to be pilots. I've not been a broadcaster by an accident. I knew it right from the secondary school. Most of my classmates knew it. Yes, and that has always been my dream. I want to be a broadcaster. All right, I want to be a media person. Some have, right from secondary school, said they want to be doctors. Today they are doctors. In fact, some are even professors of medicine. And most of us left secondary school 17, 18. All right?
So age was never the determinant.
It can never be. It can never be. Because are we not talking about professors now who are in their 40s? And they are doing well. in many universities. There's a story of a young woman who is now a professor somewhere in the United States. She's only 42 or 43. Okay? We have natural talents. We shouldn't disturb them by this. It's very archaic and very retrogressive, highly retrogressive.
Well, viewers out there, as usual, it is always an explosive session with Dr. Egariba. Once again, I'll say thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share on YouTube. For those of you who are not still conversant on how to reach us on YouTube, simply go down to your YouTube, type in Providence Television International, and like my boss would always say, you are good to go. Once again, thanks for joining us on the morning drive. Dr. Egariba, thanks for coming on the program.
Yeah, just my last word. I'm sure you've been watching. Edna Quisley have said that. The last word from me today will be September 21st is here for Edo State. It's a defining moment. It will be a defining moment. And you know what's going to happen on September 25th? The election.
Yeah,
the election. Yeah. And I will advise the combatants, the chief combatants. And who are the chief combatants? The candidates. Let us give decency a chance. There should be no room for rigging. There should be no room for ballot box snatching. There should be no room for arson, burning of papers and all sorts of things. There should be no room for thuggery. There should be no room for writing results before the results are declared. These are the things that bring elections into odium. Let us try and avoid those pitfalls, and we'll have a good day on that day, for instance. Let it be that whoever loses should stretch his hand across the divide to shake the victor. And my prayer, as I said yesterday, my prayer is constant. May the best candidate win.
Great. Well, that was actually some words from the CEO of Providence Television International. Later today, we'll be coming up with sights and visions of Dr. Emmanuel Egariba, and he has actually just promoted the topic that we'll be discussing as regards the gubernatorial elections. Playing the political game with decency. Don't go away, as we have so much in store for you today. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.